B1 family, welcome to Black Logic. Before we get into the heart of the broadcast, we're going to cover a quick story, maybe a couple of quick stories here. The first on the list that we have is a situation that's going over in Haiti. There's a huge situation. I don't know if you guys are aware of what's going on in Haiti. So here's a quick clip that I want you guys to see here.
Happening in Haiti, gangs launching a violent assault on the presidential palace overnight. The Caribbean nation's capital city, Port-au-Prince, paralyzed by gang violence, leaving Americans stranded, desperate to flee. And we want to warn you, some of these images are disturbing. Here's ABC's Annette.
Fair use.
Tonight, Haiti paralyzed by an explosion of violence. This elderly woman caught in the crossfire during a shootout between police and gangs in Port-au-Prince.
There's a lot of things going on in the Haiti family, and it made me think about illegal immigration. It made me think about immigration in whole.
Well, tonight, new Haiti, the U.S. military overnight airlifted.
It made me think about
embassy personnel out of the country. It's the latest sign of.
It made me think in Haiti as a whole. That's what it made me think of. It made me think of Haiti as a whole because Haiti was one of the few countries that didn't get colonized by the Western Europeans. They revolted, they rebelled, they unalived a lot of, French folk that they were being colonized at the time in the War of 1804. So if you notice, Haiti has never been established. Cuba is in better shape than Haiti, but some people say a conspiracy theory. Some people say this is done by design. And don't forget, I did a covering of Haiti, of all its natural resources. Haiti still have tons of natural resources that this benefits other governments in other countries when Haiti is unstable. Don't forget the prior president to the current one family, the prior president was assassinated. And a lot of people are believing that the people who orchestrated the assassination came from the Western world. I'll say that. But that's what's going on in Haiti, family. It's total unrest in Haiti. There's this waves of crime. The gangs have essentially taken over Port-au-Prince. The president, I believe, is in Puerto Rico somewhere. He was in Kenya, he was in Puerto Rico. But he's definitely not going back home because they want him to go away. And I guarantee if he was in Haiti, they will probably try to assassinate him. So his best bet is to relinquish power because you don't have a well intact government like Western countries. It's because, again, that was designed that way for you guys to fall apart until you eradicate all those people who look like you, talk like you, but are agents and ops for the dominant society. Okay. Now, and that was total unrest in Haiti. Now, are you guys familiar with this here, family? Are you guys remember with this? These have been coming in the past year or so, from like 22 until now 24, of a lot of these particular places. They're getting these hate crime laws, these anti-Semitism hate crime laws. And again, family, this is what the black media has been stating. Eventually, Jewish folk would have stronger anti-Semitic laws to protect them even further. We have to see, when people are talking about voting, they're talking about voting right, voting left, voting in the middle, not voting at all, voting the couch. This is the reason why a lot of people, especially foundational Black Americans, are now looking at not voting is absolutely a choice. Like, hey, I'm not telling anyone, hey, you guys should be not voting, you guys should be voting. No, it's a personal stance of when you understand that this government doesn't have anything on the table for our people, that whether you vote or not. Here's the thing, family. Whether you vote or not, one of them two are going to get in office and nothing's going to change for you. Now, if I know there's some black folk out there who have businesses, multi-million businesses, or they may have people that live in other communities, so to speak, that they want protection laws for. So everybody is going to vote on maybe a couple of things, right? No one's really a one-party voter, I mean a one-issue voter, but most people may have like 2 or 3 issues they agree with a certain party, so they're going to vote that way. And I look at it very differently. I look at it very different because as a sense of empowerment, where you're not just going to vote for the lesser of two evils, then you're still voting for evil. And that's the thing about it. But other groups, when they get themselves together, this is what they get. They get increased protection laws for themselves. This is what they get. See, we've been here, we've been brutalized, we've been killed by race soldiers with and without badges, right? We get discriminated upon. All these things have occurred to us, and they happen to us daily. Have we gotten any crime law for us? No. Asians during COVID-19 era, they received federal protection from the federal government that if you call out or you do something derogatory or you get into a physical altercation with an Asian person, that's a hate crime. That's a hate crime, right? So we don't have no state laws of protection, nothing. But when you go to the FBI crime data, what do you see? What do you see? You see Black Americans at the top of being assaulted simply by the color of their race. I mean, the color of their skin. That's what you see. So they got a hate crime law, and it states here, anti-discrimination laws have advanced in legislative chambers in Indiana and South Dakota. A report from the Anti-Defamation League last year found major increases in anti-Semitic incidents in Georgia and Indiana, but not in South Dakota, where then 10 a year were recently reported, but they still got protections in South Dakota. Bill supporters say more than 30 states have adopted a definition in some way over the years. Before now, the legal definitions included in New York, the state with the largest Jewish population, came primarily through resolutions or executive orders rather than forceful laws. No forceful laws, no votes needed, executive order. Definition into law in 2022 in Virginia did the same last year, among others. So what they're telling you here, family, what they're telling you here, that everybody got together and agreed that Jewish Americans or Jewish folk that are living in America need more protection than they already have. And I'm not stating that they don't. I'm stating is that each and every year, Black Americans have been top of the charts when it came to racial violence against us. We're top of the charts. I think the nearest group of people that's second on the list, I believe they are George, but it's like 3-1. We have 3,000 some are racial attacks and racial violence that's being torted towards us. But when it comes to other groups, it's only like a third, a half. When we're talking about other groups that the FBI actually tracks for hate crimes, we're 3 times as much as any other group. But these groups continue. These groups continue to get protection. Okay? Combat anti-Semitism into law. Here's the one from South Dakota that they signed. HB 1076, which requires consideration of the definition of anti-Semitism when investigating unfair or discriminatory practice into law. And if you go through this, family, it's basically, when you go through this, family, it's basically protection for Jewish folk. And don't forget about your guy, Ron DeSantis, signs anti-Semitism protection bill. And I think, yeah, this is back in 2019. This is back in 2019. So a lot of people didn't know about this as well. So all these other groups have gotten protections, haven't gotten benefits, have got all sorts of things over foundational Black Americans. And the most that we can gather up is to continue to go out in large groups and motivate each other to go vote for politicians. Don't matter, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter, that have no specific laws for us. But they'll tell you he's not just, or she's just not, or he's just not the president for Black folk. He's the president of the United States of America. So he's the president for all folk. Okay, cool. Then why is that all these specific groups get tangibles and protections and we continue to get nothing? And we continue to get nothing.
People who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do.
Is that right? Okay.
Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class.
He stated that the middle class built the country. He stated that the middle class built the country. That's what he stated. And believe me, when I think about good old Joe, I have a couple of, kind words, family. I have a couple of kind words. He stated basically that immigrants built America. And I'm going to show you that clip as well. But he said that the middle class built America. Then in another clip, State of the Union address, he stated that immigrants built America. But we have to set the record straight each and every time that the commander in lies come out and say these very degrading, undermining, benign things about us without even saying our name. It's total disrespect. You know who built the country. It was Black Americans who built the country, who were slaves who built the country, who were freemen who built the country. They were building this country before and after slavery. From railroads to constructing the roads to Wall Street, the Capitol, the White House, and so much more. See, it was the blood, sweat, and tears of Black Americans that laid the very foundation in this nation. So by claiming that immigrants built America and not acknowledging the contribution of Black Americans, it perpetuates a false narrative that Black people have not played a significant role in shaping this country. That is what it does. That's the narrative that it shapes. That we have done nothing in this country or for this country, even though we fought in every major war in this country, even though we literally modernized America, not only with our hands, but with our innovations in engineering. Those are the things they don't want you to hear. Those are things they don't want you to know. And I get it. Some people believe that the system of white supremacy is a conspiracy theory and that it really doesn't exist. That it really doesn't exist. Just the undermining of the entire ignorance is kind of like what Nikki Haley stated. She said she don't know the real cause of the Civil War. And the guy couldn't believe she could say whatever she was spewing off, that she could never talk about slavery. And when I think about it, it undermines the call for reparation for descendants of foundational Black Americans. Generations of injustice, but that don't matter. And here's what we realize. We realize these things, don't we, family? In the system of white supremacy, you must understand that more than one thing can happen at the same time. That's what we have to understand. There's a lot of moving parts in the system of white supremacy. One, to have you fool yourself, on the other hand, to have you to kick yourself because you're so damn confused about what's going on. You're so confused about what the hell is going on. This is straight disrespect, family, because this is what Joe Biden is doing. This is what Joe Biden is doing, family. And people are using the term secretly, right? They're using the term secretly. I don't want to say secretly because as we go through here, you're going to notice that what Joe Biden was utilizing, this program, it wasn't a secret, it's very public. But the secretive part about all of this is in the midst of mass caravans of illegal immigrants coming to this country. We didn't even know as American citizens that during a particular time frame, they were flying them over here. People are crying about open borders. No. You don't have to worry about open borders. We understand that you guys don't want to walk from Honduras, from Costa Rica. You don't want to walk 200 miles to come inside of America illegally. We have a program that we're going to just fly you over here. But the program may say, and I've been hearing these news reports saying it's not what you guys think. They have to have money. They have to have this. And that's untrue. Let's go through this. 320,000 illegal immigrants on secret flights into the U.S. in an effort to decrease the number of illegal immigrant encounters at south of the border. So they just like, we're going to fly you over so we can, we're just going to fly you over because there's so many people at the border. You guys don't have to wait in line. We're going to get you right through the red tape. You don't got to worry about, staying in temporary housing. We got you guys. We're going to fly you right over. Don't you guys even worry about it. We're going to take care of you. All 320,000. It comes after a controversy over a 2022 transportation program in which the administration used taxpayer money to move migrants throughout the country on overnight flights. Public program. So Texas, there's a lot of border states. There's some states on Central Standard Time, which parts of Mexico is. I know the further west you go, the time changes. But let's just say the ones right under Texas. Why are you flying them overnight? We got the same time zone. Anytime you listen, when people say, hey, what your grandmother used to say when you was in church, what your auntie, what your uncle used to say, anything done in the dark will come to the light. Will come to the light. And this couldn't come at a better time. Listen, you can't do nothing in this country on a high level and think you're getting away with it. We got conspiracy theorists throughout the entire nation. If they believe something's going down, they're there with a camera. They're there with a pen and paper, and somebody's going to report it. But again, family, as I told you before, this program is not a secret. It's just that nobody knew about it. I'm saying it was made public, but no one knew about it. Okay, let me see. And it says Joe Biden border crisis by the numbers. There have been 8.7 million illegal crossings nationwide. And it goes on, family. And they're stating the number of illegal immigrants who have entered through the southern border is greater than the population of 36 states. The total number of illegal immigrants who have entered through our southern border is greater than the population of 36 states. Now, I'm gonna tell you what they're doing here, even though I understand what they're saying, but most of us are going to think 36 states combined because they wrote them out. They didn't say combined. They just was pointing out certain states that the number of illegal immigrants that have came into the country illegally have outnumbered the population of those states. If it said combined, then that's a whole nother topic, family. That's a whole nother topic. Okay. So here's a report from NBC Montana. Biden admin flew hundreds of thousands of migrants into using the CBP One app. The CBP One app, okay? It's they till 40, they were flown into 43 different airports in the United States. Who will process and release you? So it's absolutely to cover up bad politic optics. There's a lot of things going on here, family, that is much bigger than we thought it was. And at the same time, we have the commander-in-laws to tell us that immigrants built this country.
Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges to help tackle the backload of 2 million cases, 4,300 more asylum officers, and new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now. 100 more high-tech drug detection machines to significantly increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America. That's killing thousands of children. This bill would save lives and bring order to the border. It will also give me and any new president new emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming. The Border Patrol Union has endorsed this bill. The Federal Chamber of Commerce is, yeah. You're saying low. Look at the facts.
Family, this president here is definitely not the one for us. He has been lying to us for a very long time. He has garnished the black vote from the heels of Barack Obama, that the first so-called black president, he didn't do anything for black folk. He could at least did it his second term, right? Is it me? He could at least done it his second term. Anyway, this is why we've seen from 2020 to 2023, the average was about 240,000 that come out to our ports of entry. In 2023, it was 1.1 million coming to our ports. That's a 370 increase. A 370 increase of migrants. 1.1 million. 1.1 million. And he had the nerve, and I'm trying to find that clip for you guys. He had a nerve to say immigrants built this country. I was really trying to find that clip. I think I want to double add this thing here. Let's see. Let's try this one again.
People who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires.
Okay, yeah, we already had that one. But he basically said that immigrants built the country. I thought I had it queued up for you guys. But he was being very disrespectful when he stated that. And the funny thing about that is, the very funny thing about that is that Donald Trump came out and corrected Joe Biden.
African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right? African Americans built this nation.
What's crazy about this is Donald Trump is going to get a lot of black votes based off this given recognition, where a lot of black folk are going to feel disrespected because the commander-in-law stated in front of the State of the Union, which all the major countries watched our State of the Union address, because they want to know, what is America doing? How's America? Is America stable? How's America? Everybody wants to know, how's America doing? Because everybody's money is tied to America. So all these other countries watch America. And on worldwide news, Joe Biden stated, immigrants built the country. Other countries are going to think like, oh, so there were people who wasn't American who built the country. Interesting. Foundational Black Americans are not immigrants. We never immigrated to America. We were here before America was even established. And what a lot of people, I believe, don't cover or don't understand the true nature of why we're getting away from the term African American, is because you did have slaves that come over and ship. But when they got here, if you read the Spanish conquistadors' journal, that he had black slaves on his ship in 1526, and that they ran away with the black aboriginals that were already here prior to the ones that came off the ship. So that is an ethnogenesis of people mixing together and forming their own tribe. And that's why a lot of us don't really connect to the term of African American, because we are different people. Just like Jamaicans or Bahamians or Caribbeans would be a different people. They don't essentially call themselves African. African, excuse me. We know that we have a lineage to Africa, but we're not the only people that are just tacking on the word of a whole entire continent. But yeah, Donald Trump had to correct Joe Biden on this. Let me just play that first little bit for you guys. Here we go.
You built this nation.
Okay, they won't let me start it over, family.
You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built.
He said we built the nation. And then he went to say, because you know Donald Trump's silly, he said, we all built it. No, you said it 3 times, you know, don't do a Freudian slip and come with them white supremacist sort of mindsets. But when you do these things with us, and you go back to what I was saying before, who built the railroads? A lot of people think that the Chinese built the railroads. That's not the truth. They started to building after, but the initial railroads, family, 20 years prior to the Chinese getting here, was foundational Black Americans. We're the ones, our ancestors are the ones who built the very foundation of the railroad from the north to the south on the eastern seaboard. I could be wrong with geography, but we built the first railroads. We built Wall Street, literally. We built Wall Street, and then we were sold on Wall Street at the same damn time. The Capitol, the White House, all of these constructed very seats of power. And by erasing our contributions and falsely attributing them to immigrants, giving credit to immigrants, laying claim to immigrants, Biden is perpetuating a narrative that Black people have done nothing to push this nation forward. And it's a huge slap in the face, but we're kind of getting used to it at this point. Or a lot of us are used to it at this point. And when people say things like this, you believe the conservatives are trying to wipe away our history in textbooks. Well, I guess the liberals or the Democrats, because Joe Biden is a Democrat, is erasing our contributions from the world by statements like that. A lot of you may think that's a stretch. I don't believe. Yes. Because for far too long, we've had the president and vice president tell Black Americans about reparation. And by denying the truth, it coincides with them denying reparations. Why are you guys getting reparations? You didn't do anything. Your ancestors didn't do anything. You don't have a strong lineage here. Don't forget, Biden's lineage is back from Ireland. And anytime you speak to somebody who's pro-Irish or who is Irish, and they have their own contorted perspective of their history in America. Now, I spoke to some Irish people. They're like, that. Oh no, we knew that Black Americans built America, and then our guys came over and built some stuff later after that. But when they got here, there was roads already built. Railroads was already built or being built. Yeah, did people come after we didn't built the foundation and helped and extended things that made it nationwide? Of course. But then you have people say that the Irish were slaves in America, which is another lie. Indentured servitude is not the same thing as slavery. I had someone tell me in the comment section that indentured servitude is worse than slavery. Lord, Lord, Lord. Why aren't there trillions of movies? Why aren't there trillions of movies and articles and stories and books about indentured servitude like there is slavery? Oh, that's right. Because Black people played victimhood. And so they just had to appease us with stories of our tragedies and tortures of our ancestors. I get it. This is how you deny the truth. This is how you deny the truth. Give me a second here, family, because the commander in lies, this is what he's done. Biden parole flights create security vulnerabilities at U.S. airports. It states here that CPP has approved secretive flights last year alone. Hundreds of thousands of inadmissible aliens from foreign airports into some 43 American ones over the past year, all pre-approved on a cell phone app. On a cell phone app. Now, technology has come a long way. I got it. But man, you can enter the most powerful country in the world and get a plane ticket on your app for free. But they'll tell you they got to pay money. Lies. It says here, but while large immigrant receiving cities and media lay blame to the influx of Texas Republican Governor Abbott, busing program, CPP has withheld from the center. CPP has withheld from the center and apparently will not disclose the names of the 43 U.S. airports. They have received 320,000 inadmissible aliens from January through December 2023. So I guess the thing that Governor Abbott was doing was not a bad thing. He was just doing what the government was doing, flying them all over to different states, to sanctuary states, to sanctuary cities. Is that what he was doing? Is that what he was doing? I think he just was, yeah. We're going to pick you guys up from your prospective countries, right? Honduras, El Salvador. And here's the thing. Let me point this out very quickly. None of these countries are in civil unrest. I think Ecuador may got a little bit something going on, but none of these countries are in civil unrest, family. They're not, with the exception of Haiti. That's why we covered Haiti early on in the broadcast, because Haiti is in total civil unrest. It's total anarchy there. They're talking about the government is failing and is about to collapse. It's collapsed. It's collapsed. Okay, the military there can only secure certain areas and certain places, but the gangs control the rest of the entire country. It's collapsed. Your president is not even in country. It's collapsed. We don't have to just stop beating around the bush about things. No, it's collapsed. Okay. Let me make sure I ain't missed nothing. Here we go. It remains part of administration's lawful pathway strategy, with the stated purpose being to reduce the number of illegal border entries between ports of entry. The countries whose citizens are eligible are Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Colombia, and Ecuador. So out of all these countries, Ecuador gets a slight pass, but Haiti is in total unrest. And guess what? They can't leave the country. The American government said we're not sending troops. They only sent troops over there to secure those people who are at the embassy. And they said we're not sending troops to help you guys out, to establish your government. Y'all got it. But at the same time, Haiti was calling for, I guess, other countries not to intervene. I wonder if that came from the Haitian government or the Haitian gangs. I don't know. I'm just asking. But when you look at all these other countries, Colombia is intact, Guatemala. But when we're talking about that gangs are taking over the entire country, oh yeah, Haiti. But you think they're going to fly Haitians over here? You guys think they're going to fly Haitians over here? They're like, hey, we know your country is not doing well. The government's collapsing. Let's just take random people off the street. Hey, what's your name? Oh, Pierre Dantes. Okay, cool. Nothing in our system, but you're not in America yet, but there's an American system. But yeah, go ahead. You're free. You're good. You're good. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. That's how they're going to do it. Go ahead. Go ahead. For the most of the past year, big city mayors and state governors have loudly complained about the hundreds of thousands of foreigners showing up in need of housing, food, medical treatment, clothing, and education, placing extraordinary unfunded financial burdens on local population. Routinely, politicians and major media outlets have laid blame for the influx of Texas Governor Abbott busing program. Now, here's a funny thing about that. A lot of these states do these prediction models where they say, well, we have an average of X amount of illegal immigrants coming in, each and every day. And we are a border state, or we are above a border state that he may bust these illegal immigrants to. And they do all these predictions of how many people they're taking. And say, listen, there's just been an extremely large amount of illegal immigrants coming in that's not correlating with the numbers at the border. That's because 1/3 people were flown inside the country in a very short time. But the airport location information would undoubtedly provide a more accurate and complete picture of what is happening, though the administration will not be able to blame the Texas government of these arrivals. The redacted records received by CES show a clear preference for some airports over others, with a dozen unnamed facilities receiving most of the 320,000. Wow. Boston airports, for instance, spiked from 2.3 million to 3.3 million. Okay. Chicago, another hot spot. Chicagoans, here it goes. They wasn't just busing them to Chicago. The federal government, good old Joe Biden, he flew. I could just picture someone saying, is there economy plus on the flight? I just want a cerveza. I know economy plus you get the drink, so I just wanted a cerveza. You get it on the way home, guys. But anyway, it stated here that it rose from 6.3 million to 7.9 million. Because we do these averages, and they just overblew the average. Okay. New York City, I don't even know why New York are allowing people in the city. New York is so damn crowded. Spiked from 17.7 million arrivals to 23 million in 2023. Where you think majority of the migrants, and why you think they have all these issues in Chicago and New York? Because even Joe Biden allegedly flew in 320,000 illegal immigrants to New York and Chicago. Holla at your boy. Good old Joe. Allegedly. Okay, internet, allegedly. Okay. I'm just saying it for a friend, guys. I'm just saying it for a friend. That's it. Here we go. This is verify.com. Okay. Is there a program that allows migrants otherwise ineligible for admission into the U.S. to fly into the country? True. They said it's true. There's a program. Good. Now, you guys can go and read the site for yourself to get the rest of the information. I like to show my sources, okay? I don't want to speak out my ass. And since you think that I didn't have receipts earlier about Joe Biden stating a certain thing, well, listen to the commander in lies.
Heckling of you
undocumented first. And
Undocumented. Well, you said illegal, President Joe Biden. I mean undocumented. All of a sudden, because today we're diving into this whole clandestine operation that's quietly flying over at night over 250,000 people inside of the country who are essentially illegal. 320,000 to be exact. And not like one or two airports, 43 different airports, with Chicago, New York allegedly receiving the most. Because these illegal immigrants are being flown and then processed and then released inside of the country without proper documentation or vetting. Could this be to cover up bad political optics? Maybe. But this say that this was actually flown in by the Biden administration. And a lot of people say, well, this program has been in existence for a very long time. Well, I did a little bit digging, family. I did a little bit digging. And it has been around since 1950. It has been around since like 1950. But when we dive here a little bit more, you know what? We'll jump there. We'll come back to this. The app is what changed the game. The program has been around since 1950. Think about that. People don't have computers, like even modern day age. A lot of these people don't have computers in their home. They got to go to a computer lab of sorts and maybe pay. Not everybody has a computer, but everybody has a cell phone. Everybody. I mean, they were coming over and they were showing live footage of the undocumented migrants coming over the board, and they had cell phones. The app is free to download, and users can register 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to ensure efficiency and enhance security. Beginning on Monday, March 4th, 2024, non-citizens in Central and Northern Mexico can request CBP1 appointments between the hours of 12 p.m. and 11:59 p.m. each day. What are they talking about? What are they talking about appointment at 11:59? When does the government work past 4:30? Some people will say 5. Everybody stop at 4:30. Oh, I got to get my stuff together. No, I got to clean off my desk here. You guys know what I'm talking about. 4:30, goddammit. They start packing it up so they can be walking out at 5, not ending at 5. But nonetheless, when does the federal government set appointments all the way to 11:59 p.m.? They must be like AI controlled or prompted or just prompt. I don't, but it's an appointment. That means you gotta. I'm trying to hash it out, family. I'm trying to hash it out. Let me make sure I don't miss nothing here, because the more that we learn about illegal immigration in this country, the more sickening that not only does it hurt Americans horribly bad, but it hurts foundational Black Americans even worse. It absolutely does. And the Pew Research, they did a study. Okay, they did a study. Modes of entry for the unauthorized migrant population. All right, they did a study. You come down here, entered legally with inspection, and they gave the numbers. Enter illegally without inspection, 6 to 7 million. Okay, and the reason why I wanted to go back here, look at this. Estimated total unauthorized population in 2006, 11.5 to 12 million people in 2006. Do you believe it got better or worse? Do you believe it got better or worse? I'm pretty sure it got worse when we're actually flying in people like this. This is absolutely horrible. This is actually ridiculous, family. And then you got him denying our lineage inside of this country, saying immigrants built the nation. They stated that immigrants built the nation.
But you were such a massive part of it, bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right? African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just
So
starting.
if Donald Trump can say it, not that we really need recognition, but this is going to win over a lot of hearts and minds of black folk. This is sheer recognition. Like, you know how sometimes people just want to be recognized? Like me, the empty symbolism and stating the truth, stating the fact that we already know, does that lean me towards Donald Trump? Absolutely not. Because it's about policy over party. And neither one is my party, because neither one has any policies for me. The damn purple party can come out like, we got reparations for Foundation of Black Americans and a hate crime bill for protection, just like we give all the other people in America. Oh, okay. What party are you? Purple? Okay, I'm purple party. I'm purple party. And you know, it's funny when we say reparations, people think it's just money. I don't want to get anyone upset. It's not just money. It's not just money. Why not a tax-free class? Native Americans don't pay taxes. They're getting reparations. If we're getting reparations, we don't want to pay taxes either. That's another thing. Land grants. Yeah, give us land grant. That's part of reparations. See, reparations is not one thing. Y'all like, oh, y'all did some lazy niggas just want some free land or some free money. No, it's more than that. So when you troll in the comments and you hate, just know that it's more than just cash payments. Oh man, it's more than just cash payments, okay? I want to make sure nobody is left out. It's more than just cash payments. All right. I'm not ignoring you guys. I've got a couple of things to cover here. We're going to get through this very quickly, okay?
Shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented. And look, when I spoke about the difference between Trump and me, one of the things I talked about in the border was that the way he talks about vermin, the way he talks about these people polluting the blood. I talked about what I'm not going to do, what I won't do. I'm not going to treat any of these people with disrespect. Look, they built the country. The reason our economy is growing, we have to control them more.
Did you guys hear that, or was it just me? Did you guys hear that? He doubled down on what he said in the State of the Union address and stated that they built the country. The reason why this is such important, right, in a matter of words, building something and improving something is different. When people say, we're going to build a house, they talking about they built it from the ground up. Do they not? When you say, when you're making improvements to the house, right? Major improvements, you're knocking down a wall, doing an open space. People say we are renovating our house, right? We're doing a total remake. We're doing a remodel, right? Because they're not tearing down the house and building it back up. So when Foundation of Black Americans say that we built the country, you can't come and then say they built the country. No, they are improving the country. They are improving the country by building more buildings and improving more buildings, but they didn't build the country, right? Yeah. Don't play on words on us. Don't be sly talking to us. Let me back this up a little bit.
Respect. Look, they built the country. The reason our economy is growing, we have to control them more.
He said it State of Union address. Then he tried to throw the economy in there. Nah, Joe. Nah, we ain't messing with you, brother. No. We all good. Because you know what? There's actual Americans out here. There's actually black folk out here. And they're going through something.
Funny, the money to open up 2 of those schools to the Ukrainian refugees and 2 of the other schools to the the Venezuelan refugees. But you can't find the money to fix it for the people who live here. Explain to me how it is that you done sat up here and you done closed down all the homeless shelters. Literally, it's only like 5 homeless shelters in Chicago. Matter of fact, that's not even a joke. That's not a lot. 5 well-established homeless shelters left in Chicago. But somehow, some way, The homeless shelters that y'all closed down, you're opening for the fucking refugees. You don't give a damn about us, the people who live here, the people who stay here and pay fucking taxes, but you giving it to the fucking refugees. Hey, y'all.
That sister was very, very, very upset. And I understand where she's upset about. We have homeless Americans. We have our family, our Foundation Black American Family, who are in very poor conditions. And these people are getting luxury apartments in New York. They're getting credit cards in New York. They're getting all sorts of benefits in Chicago. And now we're figuring out that during this whole time where there's going to be a bipartisan bill that was going to be signed by the Democrats and Republicans to give the president more power to secure the border, what we found out was he was flying them in at night to 43 different cities. So 43 different cities, family. And that's what we have to understand about what's going on in America. There's a whole hell of a lot that's going on right now. Let me see some of your comments here before I end. I see we got everybody in the room tonight. Let's talk about it. Focus, keeping policies. DSB, my warrior brother. Let's see. Affection of Earth, I see you. Southpaw, I see you. Jermaine Anderson. Extreme X. I see a lot of you guys in the room. Training in basketball. Now, I keep seeing comments about Ricky Manor, that I support Ricky Manor. Ricky Manor, he has some good points that he talks about, and I agree with those points. So that is my stance on Ricky Manor. People are like, oh, you support him, you do this. Me and Ricky Manor, we have some of the same thought processes when it comes to the government. And that is my stance on Ricky Manor. We have no issues. So if you guys want to keep, what you call it, spanning the chat room, talking about that, go eat your heart out, okay? Let's see here. We got D General. Nice to see you in the room, D General. DSB states they had doped up on something. I've never seen Biden with that much energy. I think he was. I was thinking the same thing. I'm glad somebody else said that. Oh yeah, family, before I lose you guys here, I did promise you guys a t-shirt, okay? I did promise you guys a t-shirt. And here it is. I think DSB gonna like this one. FBA here. And a couch on the back. Okay, you got FBA in red, white, and blue. Foundation of Black Americans. That's a lot of patriotism, family. That's a lot of patriotism. And then on the back, I know you guys was waiting for this one. Couch 2024. And if you guys want a copy of that, just make sure once the video ends, you go to my store and go and grab you one. I got hoodies and other things. But yeah, I don't really try to sell too much of my channel, but I do have a store where I have merch. So if you guys like to support the channel or like the shirt, either one, you don't want to support the channel, but you like the shirt, just go get a shirt. Just go get a shirt. Let me see. There was one more clip I wanted to play for you guys. All right. Seems as though I'm having some problems. Hope you guys can still hear me. Training in basketball said Trump ain't no better. Let's see. Well, I keep seeing